Come see us on tour in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, San Jose, Toledo, and Bakersfield. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So this rapper, Lil Yachty?
Mm-hmm.
His name is Lil Yachty, not Big Bodie.
Shitty mumble rap. I hate Lil Yachty, but go ahead.
And he says, well, so he's doing a cooking show?
Mm-hmm.
You want to check out what he says during the cooking show? Here we go.
You spent $100,000 on a trip to Disney once. How much have you spent on charitable causes this year?
So she asks him, you spent $100,000 on a trip to Disneyland once. How much have you spent on charity?
Let's start cooking these pancakes.
This year technically just started. So this year, I mean, like, it's hard to...
What about last year?
Well, last year, you know, it's hard to gauge.
All right. So what about the year before last year?
Oh, well, that year, that's a good year. Yeah, it's just blurry. I be doing so much.
BLM? Since you want to be so black power?
BLM is a scam.
But BLM is a scam, he says.
I was wondering how it was going to lead into that, and he just blurted it out at her.
Yeah, she asked him, hey, did you donate to BLM? And he goes, BLM's a scam. And here we go. There's more to it.
Clip that! Send it to the fucking news.
BLM was literally a scam. They had bought mansions, and you probably wouldn't know anything about it because you don't care about black people.
I do care about black people. Look at my chocolate. You're mad.
It's a disguise.
You're mad. I think I'm literally the most pro-black person in this room.
Because you have an all-white staff?
They're not white.
Oh,
They're
he's
POC.
Big Yachty now.
Thank you. But don't laugh.
I too have a gay, so I also am.
I too have a gay.
Listen
to this.
Whites. They're POC. Thank you.
And she says, I'm gay. And then he says,
She said, I'm gang? No, you're not, sweetheart.
No, somebody off camera says I'm gay. She says, and I'm gay.
Oh, I thought you said gang.
No.
Because he said, I too have a gang, right?
No, it's here.
They're not whites. They're POC.
So she says, my crew isn't white. They're POC, meaning people of color. And then someone off camera says, and I'm gay. So some guy named David says, and I'm gay. And then the rapper says,
thank you.
He's
but
laughing. Don't
laugh.
I too have a gay, so.
I too have a gay.
Oh, he said, I thought he said, I didn't hear, I couldn't. I do have a gay.
Do you have a
He's
gay?
great.
I thought everyone had a gay. You can now order them online at eGay.
I want a gay.
Oh my God.
That's kind of funny.
I got a whole new respect for Lil Yachty because that was hilarious.
I do have a gay.
I also am
gay?
We have a gay.
What?
So just to let you know, Patrice
Cut out where I
Cullors.
said his rap sucks, please.
Patrice Cullors was the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. She's faced controversy over how she managed the organization's funds. If you just type in her name, this is what comes up on Google. What was the controversy? Well, she spent millions of dollars on luxury homes in Los Angeles and Georgia while leading the Black Lives Matter. She bought a house right here in Laurel Canyon.
Nice.
With the, you can't even, anyway. Foundation spending. The Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation spent $6 million on mansions in Los Angeles and $8 million on mansions in Canada, eh?
Yeah, right. This is old news that dippy cook should have known.
Yeah. The foundation gave large contracts to friends and family of colors or Cullors, including her brother-in-law, Damon Turner's art firm.
Oh, maybe they meant persons of color, like her
Maybe,
name.
oh,
and not
maybe that's
persons
what they
of color.
meant. So that's where they were spending your money.
Persons of color.
And it was so bad that Candace Owens did a documentary about it called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold.
So Black Lives Matter released their 990 IRS filings. They collected $80 million. Where is that money?
It's not here. Everything looks worse than it was.
Where have you seen that money impacted throughout the city? So my producer just sent me a link. It is just shocking to me because of how much money was raised to think that where he lived, the bills weren't being covered. Super frustrating, but that's a dead end, so. And here's where it gets really interesting. Ready for some BLM pride? Another $200K went to escorts, BDSM workers, strippers, peep show workers, phone sex operators, and webcam performers. And then at that moment, it became personal. And I thought, not only am I going to say the truth, I am going to scream the truth louder than you can scream the lies.
So that's kind of interesting. She actually did an interview with Tucker Carlson about this documentary.
Because of exactly what you said, because they want you to forget it, right?
So that's her outside the house that they purchased with the Black Lives Matter money. That's her trying to get in. That's Candace Owens knocking on the door.
Do these things, they sort of punch you in the face and then they move on and they say, nobody look any further. We're now moving on to a different narrative. It is important to pause and to reflect and to consider what happened and ask a very big question, which for whatever reason, no journalist was interested in at the time. We were all basically required to either put up a black square or donate to Black Lives Matter or to make some, statement online about how black people are suffering to make sure that Black Lives Matter would receive the $80 million that it received in 1 year. But nobody asked the question, where is all the money going? I was interested because they turned me into public enemy number one for accurately talking about George Floyd, not in the capacity of a hero, but in the capacity of a person who was addicted to drugs and who had enough fentanyl in his system to kill a horse at the time that he died. That made people angry because people were invested in the emotion of Black Lives Matter. And so, look, I'm wearing the shirt. It is the BLM symbol, but instead I've inserted some cash into it because what they really did is they robbed Americans. They robbed Americans' emotions. They extracted emotions. They used black pain to create confusion and to take millions upon millions, tens of millions of dollars from people. And where did the money go, Tucker? That's what the documentary explores. The people are going to be shocked. I hope people are very behind the transgendered movement because that's where a lot of this money went. And then there's just a dead trail because the one thing that you're afforded when you decide that you are transgendered is you can change your name. So you don't know who any of these people were originally, but they received hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars of cash.
It's all, I just can't control myself and know because I was there and I watched it. You were basically banned from all media, including some conservative outlets, but for telling the truth, the factual, documented truth about George Floyd. You were not allowed to tell the truth, which really was, I think,
exactly
a dark moment. Let me ask you, do you know anybody, apart from the ladies living in Laurel Canyon and the transgenders you just mentioned, any actual, normal black person who benefited from BLM?
No, absolutely. It's the exact opposite. I can tell you millions of black people who suffered because they now live in the inner cities that were looted and that were rioted, and therefore the businesses picked up, which my documentary will show. They picked up and they left because why wouldn't they leave? Obviously, if they're basically saying that crime is allowed to take place and these are zones in which there can be no policing. So these people are now suffering economically, and we of course predicted that that would be the outcome because of the BLM scam, which benefited nobody. And there are a lot of questions. In my personal opinion, this was a money laundering scheme. And it is interesting that these individuals, like Patrice Cullors, decided to host a Joe Biden inauguration party at the Black Lives Matter house. Again, all of that is in the documentary. It's stunning. And I do want to add this. My personal charity, after I announced that I was doing this documentary, I run a charity called Blexit. We received a letter 2 weeks after the trailer dropped from the IRS saying that they were going to investigate my charity. I welcome the investigation because I am not a scam artist and I do real work in the inner city communities. This is Biden's IRS once again saying you are not allowed to investigate anything that the media is complicit in.
That's unbelievable. You're a brave person. They're going to come for you at some point, as you know. Candace Owens, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And they were both fired from their jobs.
What a cheerful send-off that is. That they're going to come for you. Thanks for coming on. Have a lovely day.
Oh, I know.
I never used to like Candace Owens. I mean, even back then, I probably wasn't into Candace Owens, even though that looks very accurate in her documentary. But she's thorough, and I've watched her say the thing you're not allowed to say because it's true over and over again now.
Yeah.
So if you get fired because of that, I'm on your team. If you get fired because you're telling the truth, I support that 100%.
Those are two people who got fired for telling the truth right there. Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. She told the truth about Israel-Palestine. He told the truth about Ukraine, Syria, and COVID. And that was that. Again, you don't get fired for lying. You get promoted. You get a $35 million contract for pushing a conspiracy theory called Russiagate that was concocted by the Clinton campaign and the FBI and the CIA, and then carried out through their media. That's you get promoted for that, for lying. You don't get promoted for telling the truth. You get fired for telling the truth in corporate media. And that's something my old friends in Hollywood will never understand, because they still turn on corporate media and think they're being told the truth. They're still angry at me for going on Tucker Carlson's show and telling the truth. I didn't go on Tucker Carlson's show and lie. I went on Tucker Carlson's show and told the truth about the war machine. Okay.
What you say doesn't matter. It's who you are around that I don't like.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, if you watch my show, you already know the mainstream news media is not reliable. They never tell you the truth about Russiagate, Ukraine, COVID lockdowns, or anything. That's why I keep partnering with Ground News. Their app and website make it super easy to compare media coverage from all over the world in one place. Like on Trump shifting his stance on Ukraine, if you go to Ground News /JD, you'll see the full coverage on how he's cut them off from intelligence sharing. Even the UK, one of our closest allies, can't pass along any U.S. intel to Ukraine. Ground News gives me instant access to over 300 articles covering it worldwide. They even tell you if each reporting source has a political bias, how reliable the reporting is, and if they're independently owned or corporate controlled. They'll even show you where the news sources are based. It's a super helpful way to see what kind of biases lead to some thinking this is some catastrophic betrayal of Ukraine that weakens NATO, while others call it a strategic realignment that forces Europe to take responsibility for its own security. When it comes to anything Trump does, you know the media is going to twist it to whatever fits their agenda, and if you're not checking multiple sources, you're going to fall into their trap. So I can't recommend enough following the Ukraine war on Ground News and checking your blind spots to find these stories missing from the other side of the political spectrum. You won't get this kind of transparency from mainstream media. Ground News is a lot like this show, actually. They're doing what we're doing. So just go to Ground News /JD or just scan the QR code on the screen. We're offering my viewers 40% off the same plan I use, which gets you unlimited access to all their features. This knocks the price down to just $5 a month. Subscribing not only supports an independent news platform working to make the media more transparent, it also supports this show and everything we do here. Come see us on tour in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, San Jose, Toledo, and Bakersfield. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.